like to make. Ayan. Unang-una po ay meron pong mangyayaring webinar, no? Half-day session na ang tawag natin is the Online Bossing Challenge. Alright? Online Bossing Challenge. It's a half-day online learning session based on the book that I wrote, no? Yung Aba, Bossing Ka Na Pala. So this will be via Zoom, March 30, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ayan. Ngayon, libre po ito kung nakabili na po kayo ng libro, no? Or kung bibili kayo ng libro, ano po, meron na kayo agad free ticket doon sa ating online learning session na yon na half day. Ngayon, kung ayaw niyong bumili ng libro pero gusto niyong umattend ng webinar, you pay 400 pesos. 50 pesos na lang, di bumili ka na ng libro, no? Ano ang pwedeng matutunan doon sa 450 po yung libro. Anong matututunan natin? Ito pala yung, no, sorry, mali yung aking sequence. So, 3 options. Option 1, kung nabili nyo na yung libro, okay, magre-register lang po kayo. I'll give you the registration QR code in a little bit. At kung wala pa kayo nabiling libro, bilhin nyo yung libro. It's a very good book. I received a lot of positive feedback from the readers. In fact, ang sabi sa akin ng ibang trainers, ginagamit na nila yung libro for conducting training for supervisors, and it makes me really proud, no, na meron akong mga kapwa training facilitators na ginagamit yung aking libro para magturo ng supervision, leadership, and management to new supervisors and managers, no. Ayan. Ang option 3, syempre kung ayaw ng libro, ay pwede naman, no. You pay 400. So, yung saan mabibili, I'll get into that in a little bit. Ayan. Ano ang topics na mako-cover natin? Ito po ay mula doon sa part 1 hanggang part 3 ng libro. Kasi hindi natin matatapos yung buong libro. Ano po? Sa mga susunod na panahon, we will cover other topics as well. So, ang module 1 is what changes now when you become the boss. In fact, when you get promoted, no, whether you're a supervisor or a manager, when you get promoted, what changes, no? Ano yung changes na kailangan mo ring gawin sa sarili mo? Module 2 yon. How do you shift your mindset so that you become ready and capable to lead, no? Ang module 3 naman natin is we're going to look at how we're going to respond effectively to the different responsibilities that we have. Kasi pag na-promote kang supervisor or manager, yung responsibility mo dati, boss lang. Ngayon, to the company, to your team members, to your fellow supervisors and managers, to the external clients, and of course, to yourself. So, anong pwede mong gawin? Okay? Ang module 4 ay a self-assessment exercise where you get to understand your own leadership philosophy, no, yung leadership values at paano mo siya i-operationalize. And then finally, action planning, where I'm going to provide you some tools on how you're going to apply the lessons back in your role in your respective teams and organization. Personally, I'm all about application of learning, no. So even the book, ganun siya dinesign, ganun siya sinulat, no? Where there are a lot of templates so that you can apply the knowledge immediately back in the workplace. So yung tanong, paano o-order ng book, paano bibili ng book? Paki-scan nyo na lang po itong QR code na ito that should take you straight to the registration and the purchase of the book. Ano po? Ayan. So, scan lang po. I will keep this para later on, kapag tayo ay nagkaroon ng clip, i-capture po natin ito para kayo ay makapag-register. Alternatively, you can go to my profile, no, yung aking TikTok profile. Sa ilalim po noon ay merong link. You can click that link and that should allow you to purchase the book and register doon sa Bossing Challenge. Tandaan po natin, March 30 from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ano po? At libre po yan sa lahat ng mayroong kopya nung aking libro na The Boss, bossing ka na pala. Okay? So, I really look forward to seeing everyone there. Mas interactive po yun because we're really going to have conversation. We're going to have exercises. Talagang learning session siya. Full-blown na learning session. Ano po? So, yan. Last announcement na lang po. I'm also trying to expand my network on Facebook. Ano po? At yung aking Facebook page po ay Edwin C. Ebreo. And there's one option when you follow me on Facebook is that you can for 99 pesos you can subscribe at as a subscriber, what do you get? Yung out of the 99 pesos, you get the full length video of our Leadership Monday sessions. Yung slide na pinakikita ko ngayon ay ipamimigay ko doon sa mga subscribers, no? Yung mga slides. At saka meron po tayong monthly downloadable tools for supervisors and managers, no? And the way to do this is simply go to my page, Edwin C. Ebreo. Ayan, and then meron dong option, Subscriber Hub. If you can see it here, ayan, sa bandang baba, Subscriber Hub, click that and choose the plan, and then you'll enjoy the benefits of being a member of our community at Edwin C. Ebreo page. No? Ang unang-una ko po ipamimigay at ipamimigay ko ito agad this week, no? Doon sa mga naunang magsusubscribe ay itong Facilitating Performance Appraisal Conversation na Supervisor's Playbook. Ayan. Wala pa po yan doon sa bossing ka na pala. So, ano po ito? PDF copy. Marami siyang toolkit that you can use in order to effectively conduct performance appraisals and performance appraisal conversation. And I hope that that's something that you can use. Okay? So, ayan po. Now, let's go back sa ating topic ngayong gabi. No? Ito po yung ating topic ngayong gabi. We're going to talk about conflict management. Okay? Conflict management ang ating topic. Bakit ito ang pinili kong topic? No? Isa ito sa hindi natin masyadong napapagtuunan ng pansin, pero madalas ay itinatanong ng mga tao anong gagawin ko kung ganito nangyayari? Anong gagawin ko sa boss ko? Anong gagawin ko sa team members ko? Anong gagawin ko sa kasama ko sa trabaho na napaka-toxic? No? So, we need to learn how to manage conflict. All of us, regardless of who you are, what your role is, importante na marunong tayo ng conflict management. So ano ang ating objective tonight? Ayan. So parang totoo training ito, no? Meron tayong learning objectives. Okay, ang una nating objective is kailangan nating maintindihan yung nature and value of conflict in the workplace. Madalas kasi naisip natin, pag narinig yung salitang conflict, ang conflict ay kailangang iwasan. Ano? Pero hindi Importante ang conflict sa isang organization, sa isang team. Pag walang conflict, walang fine-tuning of idea. There are, of course, negative and positive conflicts. So, ang tanong ngayon, how do we effectively, especially if you're a leader, how do you effectively facilitate conversation para hindi ka napupunta doon sa negative conflict or destructive conflict? Doon ka napupunta sa positive or constructive conflict. Importante rin na maintindihan natin na meron tayong iba't ibang style pagdating sa conflict. May mga taong competing, no? Competing ang kanilang style. Win-lose. Ako personally, when I took the test on conflict resolution mode, no, Thomas Kilman, I learned na my style is competing. Medyo mahilig akong makipag-argumento. Hindi siya ideal, yung style ko, hindi ideal sa isang collaborative environment. So it's something that I need to adjust to, no? So merong competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and accommodating, no? So ano ang effect ng style mo, ng iyong preferred style, dun sa dynamic ng iyong team? So pag-usapan natin. Pag-usapan din natin yung importance ng empathy, no? And assertive communication skills especially in dealing with challenging conversations. Ayan, sobrang importante niyan. How do we prevent ourselves from getting defensive, 'di ba? In a conflict conversation. How do we prevent ourselves from being too emotional in those situations? We need to apply empathy and assertiveness. Tapos, ito, importante ito. Create norms to support healthy conflict in your team or organization. Napakahirap i-practice ng empathy at saka ng assertiveness kapag ka yung environment ay unsafe. Anong ibig sabihin ng unsafe? Hindi siya psychologically safe, no? Medyo may pagka-toxic ang environment. At madalas, yung toxicity ng environment ay kontrolado ng leader ng team. So kung ikaw yung leader ng team, how do you create an environment where conversations are welcome? No? Debates, arguments are welcome. O pag-usapan natin yan. And then finally, kapag ka merong issue na kailangan i-resolve, how do you come up with a win-win approach, no, to resolve issues na hindi nauuwi sa samaan ng loob, di ba? Dapat ang usapan ay nauuwi sa pagka-solve ng problema, hindi sa samaan ng loob or sisihan. So, okay po ba yung ating topic ngayong gabi? Hopefully, this is something that that appeals to your interest. Dahil napakalaga po nito. Pag tinignan niyo po yung mga problema sa kumpanya na hindi siya kadalasan yung problema ay hindi dahil sa kakulangan ng proseso or sistema. It's because of the failure of people to communicate. No, hindi tayo nakakapag-usap ng maayos. Maraming cultural factors yan, lalo na sa ating mga Pilipino. Dahil marami sa atin ang conflict averse. Ayaw ng conflict. In fact, titiisin natin yung undesirable situation, wag lang magkaroon ng conflict, which is bad. Bad for us and bad for the team. So yan po yung ating learning objectives. Please stay with me hanggang alas 10, hanggang sa matapos natin itong topic na ito so that you can benefit from this. And later on, ay makuha nyo rin yung kopya ng buong live session natin. Okay, so here's a self-assessment tool. No? Gaano ka tayo ka-confident dito sa mga bagay na ito? Okay? So, pwede rin itong checklist. Diba? Gaano ako ka-confident in dealing with conflicts in my team? Una, naiintindihan ko ba kung ano yung mga nagtitrigger ng conflict? Yan. Yan yung unang tanong. Yung pangalawa, naiintindihan ko ba yung aking sarili, self-awareness, and how I deal with conflict? Competing bang style ko, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, or accommodating? So hopefully today, before we end, masagot niya. Pangatlo, ano yung emotion na madalas kong nararamdaman in conflict situation? Is it anger, frustration, disappointment, fear? Ano yung nararamdaman mo pag may conflict, no? Fear ba ang nararamdaman mo? Curiosity ba ang nararamdaman mo? So you need to manage all of those things in order to be effective in a conflict situation. Ito, isa ito sa challenge ko yung listening to understand. Dahil kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, ang aking conflict resolution style or mode ay competing. Pag ako ay nakikipag-usap, iniisip ko kung paano mananalo sa argumento. Kaya minsan, kailangan ko talagang mag-pause, no? Para maisigurado ko sa aking sarili kung ano ba talaga ang aking objective. Kasi kaya hindi effective ang conflict resolution madalas is because nobody's listening. Everybody wants to be right, nobody wants to be wrong, so they don't listen, So ikaw ba, kapag ka merong conflict, nakikinig ka ba? O masyado kang occupied nung sarili mong iniisip, di ba? How do you express yourself assertively? Okay? Madalas, kaya natin naiiwasan yung verbal confrontation in conflict situation ay dahil hindi tayo nagsasalita. Tinitiis natin. Kasi feeling natin, mas lalong sasama yung sitwasyon pag nagsalita tayo. And then finally, creating win-win solutions. Meron ka bang technique na ginagamit so that pagkatapos ng conflict conversation, masaya ka at masaya yung iyong kausap? Okay? So, if you want the answers to this, stay with me no, until 10 p.m. and we'll try to cover as much as we can about this topic of conflict management. Okay. Ano ang conflict? Yan muna tayo. Definition muna tayo. Ito ang ating definition ng conflict. Conflict is a dynamic interaction that arises when individuals or groups perceive differences or incompatibilities in needs, goals, values, or perspectives. Pananaw, no? Perspectives, pananaw. It can involve tension, okay, disagreement, or opposition. So, hindi away ang conflict, no? But it can be away, kagaya nangyayari ngayon sa Amerika at Iran, ano? Away yon eh. Where yung tension led to a boil, ika nga, no? Sumobra na yung conflict. Pero it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. So, what am I saying here? A conflict can be either destructive, kagaya no nangyayari ngayon sa mundo, or it can also be productive and constructive. So, when is it destructive? Pag-usapan natin yan. Ang conflict ay destructive kung, tingnan niyo po kung nangyayari ito sa inyong workplace, diverts energy from important work. Nahihirapan yung mga tao na makipagtrabaho sa isa't isa dahil yung conflict na uwi sa alitan, interpersonal conflict na uwi sa away, no? At po niyo yung sabi ko kanina, hindi lahat ng conflict ay away. Pero may conflict na nauwi sa away. At pag nauwi sa away yan, mahirap mag-work together. Conflict is destructive if it deepens personal rifts. No? Nagiging counter-dependent yung mga tao, nagkakanya-kanya. No? Oo, ang mga may conflict pa naman, naghahanap ng kakampi. Na-experience niyo po ba yan sa inyong trabaho? Na yung mga pagka kayo ay may conflict, naghahanap kayo ng kakampi. At I'm sure yung kaaway ninyo naghahanap din ng kakampi. It is also destructive kung napopolarize yung team at bumabagsak ang moral. No? Wala pa akong nakitang team na magkakagalit pero masaya. Di ba? Mahirap maging masaya pag magkakagalit sa isang team. Kaya nga yung iba are more than, willing to make sacrifices na hindi magsalita, huwag lang masira yung moral ng team. Pero actually, pag hindi ka nagsasalita, pag hindi ina-address yung issue, eventually sasabog yun. So you don't want to do that. So when is conflict constructive? Okay? It's constructive kapag yung issue ay napapag-usapan. Importante bang mapag-usapan ng issue? Siyempre, di ba? Kasi pag napapag-usapan yung issue, nasosolve yung problema. Sabi nga ni dating President Ronald Reagan, okay, all the problems in the world will disappear if we talk to each other rather than about each other. So, ang conflict ay constructive kung it allows us to have conversation, to surface real issues, if it encourages openness. Hindi takot magdebate yung mga tao. We can argue and still eat lunch together. Maganda yan. Ano pa? Kung ang conflict ay nauuwi sa collaboration. Merong mga leaders na mali ang pananaw. Ang iniisip nila, collaborative ang mga tao kapag pinakikinggan yung leader at sinusunod ng walang question. Hindi po collaboration ang tawag doon. Subservience ang tawag doon. Following blindly ang tawag doon. Ang totoong collaboration ay merong palamang conflict. No? And then finally, if the conflict leads to change, to improvements in the ways of working together, then it's constructive. Di ba? So nakita po natin, no? Yung difference between destructive conflict and constructive conflict. So, how do you balance it, no? Kasi si Patrick Lencioni, created this framework, no? Yung tinatawag niyang conflict continuum. sa isang parte ay meron tayong tinatawag na artificial harmony. Ano yung artificial harmony? We're nice to each other. Pero pag nakatalikod, marami tayong sinasabing hindi okay. Pag nasa meeting, yes. Paglabas ng meeting, no. Ang tawag dyan ay artificial harmony. We don't want that because it doesn't solve problems. Ayaw din natin yung nasa kabilang dulo, no? Yung mean-spirited personal attacks. Yung conflict ay nauuwi sa, no, away, no, clashing. So ano yung ideal conflict point? Somewhere in the middle where people talk about issues. That people are able to debate, argue, and then commit. Okay? So yun po ang habol ninyo. Kung kayo po ay nandito, kayo ay leader, at nakikita nyo po na sometimes kailangan yung pumagitna sa conflict or even during meetings, no? Kung napapansin nyo na dalawa kasing klase ng conflict eh. Either ayaw magsalita ng mga tao or pag nagsalita yung mga tao, masakit yung sinasabi nila. So kung leader ka, kailangan pinapakiramdaman mo yan eh. Paano ba mag-usap itong mga tao sa akin team? Paano ba kami mag-usap? Artificial harmony ba? Or mean-spirited personal attacks? You need to bring it back to the middle, yung ideal conflict point where there's collaboration. Ano po? So yan. So I hope nakakatulong po ito. Kung nakakatulong po ito, I don't mind receiving some gifts. No? Okay, let's proceed. Sabi ni Joseph Joubert, no? The aim of argument or of discussion should not be victory, but progress. Why is this important? Maraming mga tao na kapag merong pagtatalo, maraming tao na kapag merong pagtatalo, ang iniisip nila, kailangan manalo sila. Kailangan sila yung tama. At kung sila ang tama, dapat mali yung iba. No? So that should not be the aim. No? It should not be victory. It should not be winning an argument, but making progress. Which means what? Attaining a common goal. Yun yung habol natin. How do we achieve common goal? So progress is what we're looking for, not victory. No? Tandaan po natin yan. Okay. Ngayon, how do we address conflict? Kailangan maintindihan natin na maraming factors na nagko-cause ng conflict. Okay? Ito pong model na ito ay dinevelop din ni Patrick Lencioni, yung author ng 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. No? So sabi niya, merong individual obstacles. Ito yung pinakamadalas nating reason kung bakit hindi tayo nakikipag-usap or nakikipag-argue sa ibang tao. No? Una, yung self-esteem. Yung self-esteem mo, baka mali ako o kaya wala ako sa pwesto para sabihin yung aking opinion. Or you worry about the self-esteem of the other person. Yung values ko, yung skill ko, hindi ko alam kung paano ko sasabihin. Yung style, yung sarili kong IQ, could be, yung sarili kong talino, could be a hindrance. No? Baka hindi ko naiintindihan yung sitwasyon. My own experience, yung ding aking ability to handle my emotion, at saka yung aking knowledge. Lahat ng yan, could be barriers to conflict, no? Obstacles to conflict. Okay? Pero dapat hindi yun yung pinag-uusapan natin, no? Yung pangalawa ay relational obstacles or relationship obstacles. Okay. Legacy event. Ano yung legacy event? Meron na kami kasi dating away nito eh. O, ano na to, itong tao na to, lagi talagang mahirap kausap to. Yun yung legacy event. The culture of the organization itself, no? Yung relationship, lilinawin ko lang. Pagdating doon sa organization, tsaka yung position, ano kasi kami, sa organizational structure, mas mababa yung posisyon ko. So wala akong karapatang magsalita. Sa ating mga Pinoy, madalas yan. Yung style acceptance, no? Yung pagkakakilala natin doon sa other party about their style of communicating. Kaya natin sinasabing, ayokong kausap yan, mahirap kausap yan, o hindi naman marunong magpatalo yan, di ba? Close-minded yan. Kasama na doon yung reputation, no? So nakikita niyo po ba ito na in conflict situations, nangyayari ito na because hindi matibay yung relationship, ang hirap mag-address ng issue, di ba? And then you have the environmental obstacle. Ano naman yung environmental obstacle? Physical, no? Obstacle. Hindi tayo nagkita-kita. Uso ngayon ng hybrid, di ba? Minsan email lang. Yan. That can be a factor. Politics ng kumpanya at saka yung mood ng kumpanya, yun ding culture when it comes to communication. Kaya importante yung communication culture. So, in a conflict conversation, what should we really be talking about? Not the individual obstacles. We should peel that off. It should not be the relationship obstacles. It should not be the environmental obstacles. Ang dapat natin talagang tinitingnan ay yung tinatawag nating informational obstacles. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ano yung facts about the issue? Ano yung opinion ninyo nung kausap mo about the issue? Ano yung iba-ibang pananaw? Because the sooner you understand the issue, the better it is for you to solve the problem, no? So, dapat pagka may conflict situation, ang pinag-uusapan natin ay facts, perspectives, opinions. Hindi environment, hindi relationship, hindi lagi ka na lang ganyan, or ganyan ka naman, or ayaw kong kausap yan, di ba? So, yan ang dapat natin pagtuunan ng pansin. So I hope nakakatulong po itong ating pinag-uusapan na ito, no? Ngayon, given that, kasama kasi sa personal obstacle, balikan ko lang po yung slide individual obstacles, yung ating awareness of ourselves, di ba? How do you understand your conflict style, di ba? Oo. Sige nga po, tingnan din natin. Paki-type niyo po. Sa tingin niyo, sino kayo dito, no? Ikaw ba yung klase ng tao na competing ang style? Nabanggit ko na po kanina na ako ay na may pagka-competing yung aking style. Win-lose. Oo. So in my organization, liability yung aking competing style. Bakit kamo? Ako yung pinakamatanda sa aking team. Ako pa yung boss. Tapos malakas pa yung boses ko. 'Di ba? So, paano makikipagdebate yung mga tao ko sa akin? Because debate is important. Paano sila makikipag-argue ng issue? Paano i-discuss yung issue kung ang tingin nila nakakatakot akong kausap, di ba? So, that's something that I try to adjust. So, ikaw ba ito na ayaw ka argue ng mga kasama mo sa trabaho dahil mahirap kang tumanggap na mali ka? Laging ikaw yung tama. Competing style yun. Meron pong, hanapin nyo po, i-Google search nyo po ito. Thomas Kilmann Conflict Model. At meron po kayong mada-download na self-assessment tool. Sagutan nyo po yon, makikita ninyo kung ano yung totoong style niyo. Pero even through this learning session, you should be able to know, collaborating style, win-win style. Ikaw ba yung klase ng tao na kapag ka merong issue, nakafocus ka dun sa how to solve the issue rather than the other person. So that's the ideal style in a team environment. Man yung compromising. Yung compromising ay meet halfway. This is a very important style to use if you are trying to negotiate. Di ba? Negotiate ng benta, negotiate sa suppliers. Importante yung win some, lose some. Middle of the Pero in a conflict situation, merong bitter aftertaste. Ano po yung research para masagutan? Ito po, nakikita niyo yan, Thomas Kilmann Conflict Resolution, Thomas Kilmann Conflict Model. Itatype ko po rito. Thomas Kilmann Conflict Model. Lagyan niyo na rin ng questionnaire. Yan. Makikita niyo po yan sa internet, no? Ito, marami ako nakikitang ganitong Pinoy na pagka may conflict, they feel uncomfortable so they try to avoid it. They don't deal with it. Sa mga meeting, kapag may mga argumento, kahit may opinion, hindi nag-share ng kanilang opinion. They don't want to be a part of it. Minsan itong mga taon to may spokesperson pag may issue. Kung na lang magsabi, bakit hindi ikaw? Ayoko. Diba? Kailan, Ikaw ba to? And then, ito, accommodating. Yan. Marami rin ito. Ano yung accommodating? Sige na, ikaw na ang tama. Oo. Ikaw na ang tama, ako na yung mali. Even if it's not true, no? Ang problema kapag ka masyado kang accommodating is you can be ano, no? You can be a pushover, no? So, kailangan titignan natin, ano ba yung hinihingi ng pagkakataon. So, because we're talking about conflict management, we need to recognize kung ano yung sitwasyon at ano yung nababagay na style. And if you know your style, halimbawa ako, ang style ko ay competing. Pero a lot of the times, I need to be collaborating. I need to recognize, kailangan kong i-recognize, paano ko mag-a-adjust from competing to collaborating. So, ang approach is, kailangan kong i-recognize na hindi issue yung pagiging tama o mali. Ang issue is, how do we solve the problem? No? Kung avoiding ang aking style, okay, the focus should be not about being worried that I'm wrong or the pressure, the tension. I need to recognize that I have something of value to share, di ba? To contribute. So, alamin niyo po kung ano yung style niyo at pagka nalaman nyo, tingnan nyo how much of your style is collaborating. Ranking yan. Makikita nyo po. Kung ang natural style nyo ay collaborating, congratulations. No? All you need to learn now is how to communicate more effectively. No? So, yan. Okay. So, kailangan nating masagot ito. Ano ba yung emotions that commonly arise in conflict? Kayo po ba, kapag ka merong conflict situation, sagot po sa chat, no? Sa message. Anong emotions ang madalas nyo nararamdaman if you are in a conflict situation? No? So kahit hindi argumento, no, kundi may nararamdaman kayong banggaan ng ano, ng perspectives, ng opinions, ng values, no? Oo. So kaba. Yan. Oo. Ano pa? Sino rito yung kapag may conflict, galit sila. O pag may conflict, natatakot sila. Okay? Ano yung nararamdaman natin? Takot, kaba, inis. Yan. Tapos, alam ba natin kung saan nanggagaling yun? No? So pag-usapan natin, kung alam natin, okay, pag-usapan natin kung paano natin i-manage yung ating emotional response. Okay, at paano natin aayusin yung ating internal conversation. Kasi madalas yung emotion na nararamdaman natin, yung anger, inis, frustration, ay kaba, ay hindi dahil doon sa kausap natin, kung hindi doon sa sinasabi natin sa sarili natin. Di ba? Halimbawa, naiirita. Sabi ni Nona, Nona and Pa, naiirita. Kasi, in your mind, sinabi mo na, nakakairita tong tao na to. Nakakainis itong sinasabi nitong tao na to. And then, no, it becomes, it becomes your fact kasi yun yung sinabi mo, no? So, anong pwede natin gawin para mabago natin yung ating internal conversation so that we can have a better conversation with the people in front of us. Okay? Pag-usapan po natin yan. Ito yung mga typical na emotion at saka kung saan sila nanggagaling. No? Yung una ay anger. Yan. Actually, yung anger, hindi lang galing sa I feel attacked, yung anger. Kasama din yan sa I feel betrayed. I feel like a promise was not honored. A commitment was not honored. No? Kasama yun di ba? Frustration. No one is listening to me. O kaya, paulit-ulit na lang na nangyayari to. So it gets frustrating. Fear is also a possible emotion. Di ba? Na baka ako masisi, baka ako maparusahan, baka ako ang sabihan na may kasalanan. Ayan. Another emotion is defensiveness. This defensiveness also is born out of fear. No? Kailangan kong patunayan na ako ang tama. Kaya merong mga taong ang hirap kausap in in an argument kasi hindi sila tatanggap ng kahit na ano na magpo-point out na mali sila, no? So, dapat ako ang tama. Mahirap po 'yun. Kasi when we think that we're always right, we don't learn, 'di ba? Ano pa? Embarrassment. Okay? Embarrassment. Everyone saw me mess up. So, yung embarrassment often leads to defensiveness kasi napahiya na tayo. We try to justify our action. And then finally, resentment. Yan. Bakit ako na lang lagi ang nag-a-adjust? Di ba? Ayan. Ako na naman ang mag-a-adjust. So, alin dito yung madalas nyo nararamdaman in a conflict situation? So, kailangan i-manage natin. So, the question now is, how do we manage it? Di ba? So, kailangan natin maintindihan na in a conflict situation, hindi pa nag-uusap hindi pa nag-uusap, meron ng maingay na conversation na nangyayari sa utak natin, di ba? So for example, a coworker criticizes your idea in a meeting. During the meeting, no? Sinabi, Ed, mali naman yung sinasabi mo eh. Pagkaya ng ginawa mo, papalpak yan, etc., etc. Okay? So what happens in your self-talk? Kapag gano'n, no? Lalo na, pakiramdam mo, binara ko, no? Pinahiya ako, di ba? Okay? Ano yung mga possible self-talk? Pinapahiya ako, no? Anong nangyayari? Triggers anger. Imbis na ang pagtuunan mo ng pansin na, tama ba yung sinasabi niya? May katwiran ba siya? May punto ba yung sinasabi niya? Diba? Oo. Have you considered it? Pero kung naunahan to ng grabe namang mamahiya ito, no, this person is, anong tabi? Pushing me under the bus. Diba? Ayan. Kapag ka naman ang iniisip mo, naku, katangahan yata yung sinabi ko. I must have said something stupid. It triggers shame. So ano nangyari kapag ka napahiya tayo, tatahimik na tayo. Hindi na tayo magsasalita, no? Yung iba natotraumatize, no, na hindi na talaga magsasalita sa lahat ng meetings kasi ayaw nilang mapahiya ulit. So, importante na ma-recognize natin yung klase ng internal conversation, no? Sabi nga ni Bill, kalimutan ko yung apelyido niya. Merong isang CEO ng Hanover Insurance. Ang sabi niya, the quality, the success of external intervention depends a lot on the leader's internal conditions, di ba? So, yung internal conditions na yon ay merong kinalaman doon sa conversation na nangyayari sa kalooban natin. Okay. So, here's one approach para ma-manage yung ating emotional triggers, no? Ayan. Halimbawa, nasita ka, napagsabihan ka, nag-disagree sa'yo, okay? Nakipagdebate sa'yo. So, let's call that adversity, yung triggering situation. Okay? Ito pong framework na ito ay dinevelop ni Dr. Martin Seligman. Okay? Ang father ng positive psychology. So, ang tawag niya dito ay learned optimism. Tinawag din itong disputation process or ABCDE model. Ang daming tawag, no? Kaya ABCDE, kasi makikita nyo po dito sa steps, ay meron siyang 5 steps, no? So, yan po ang example. So, ang triggering situation, ito, no? My manager questioned my work in front of my team. Napahiya ka, no? So, belief. Ano yung sinabi mo sa sarili mo? Siguro, iniisip nito, incompetent ako. So, anong consequence? What emotion or reaction it triggered? Siyempre, pahiya, shame, no? I can be defensive, no? Mali naman yung sinabi niya. Or I can go into withdrawal. Hindi na ako talaga magsasalita. Ngayon, kapag ka tumigil ko dun sa C, sa consequence, then that will be bad for you. So, sabi ni Martin Seligman, ituloy mo dun sa disputation. Ano ba yung disputation? Another term for disputation is challenging. Challenge or reframe the belief. Okay? Baka kailangan niya lang maliwanagan. No? Baka hindi niya lang naiintindihan. I can always ask him. I can be curious. No? That should lead to energization. Energization means you pick up a new response. No? Kagaya ng following up, no? Provide a professional reply, regaining your focus. So, kapag meron kayong nararamdaman, lalo na yung road rage, di ba? Yung pag nagdadrive ka, tapos nasingitan ka ng gano'n, adversity yun eh. Okay, ano yung belief? Walang yan to, naghahanap pa ng damay. At kapag ka naisip mo kung gaano kadelikado yung nangyari and you get very, very angry, yung consequence niya ay road rage. So, kailangan mong pakalmahin yung sarili mo using the disputation process. Ano sinasabi natin, di ba? Nagmamadali. Ano na siguro yun? CR na siguro yun. No? And then you get energized. Pagdating mo sa bahay, nakalimutan mo na nagkaroon ka ng adversity na yun. So, try to manage your emotion in a conflict situation. Okay? So, how do you reframe in real time? No? What story am I telling myself? Is this the only explanation? Ito lang ba yung explanation? Or is there another way of looking at the situation? No? What response reflects what I want to be in this situation? In a conflict situation, ano bang gusto mong makita ng mga tao sa'yo? Hopefully, you want to be seen as professional, right? A good listener, open-minded. Yung ba yung gusto mo? Open-minded, reasonable, di ba? Hindi unreasonable, hindi defensive, di ba? Hindi tantrums, no? Hindi defensive, kung hindi professional, calm, no? Has composure, open, no, to ideas, yun yung gusto natin, di ba? So, yan. Uy, bumalik. Ayan. Okay, anong key insight dito? People aren't always reacting to the facts. They're reacting to their story about the facts. Tama ba? Madalas kaya nagkakaroon ng conflict kasi yung iniisip natin. No? So, mastering conflict means mastering your internal response. First, that's the foundation for assertiveness, empathy, and win-win resolution. So, how do you achieve this? Yung internal response. Pause. Pause for a minute. Sabi ni Aristotle, kapag ka daw galit ka, magbilang ka ng hanggang 10. Okay, count to 10. Kapag ka galit na galit ka, count to 100. You need that pause to gain composure and to think of something constructive to do or say. No? Sana po nakakatulong ito. Okay? So what escalates conflict? Ayan. Ito yung iiwasan natin. Interrupting, lalo na pagka energized na tayo, no? Anong impact nun? Pakiramdam nung isa, hindi siya pinakikinggan, no? It increases defensiveness. Blaming. We don't want to be blaming. Raising your voice, no? May mga ganon. At saka yung paboritong sabihin ng iba, lagi ka na lang, di ba? Puro ka. O, fill in the blank, no? Lagi ka na lang. Puro ka ganito, di ba? And then yung last, and this is very important, reacting instantly. Reacting without thinking. So, walang reflection, walang empathy. So, yan po yung iiwasan natin. Okay. So, ano ang pwede natin gawin para ma-de-escalate yung conflict? Yung emotionally charged na conversation. Pause and breathe. No? Acknowledge the other person's emotion. No? Nakikita ko na nagagalit ka. Nakikita ko na napoprostrate ka. No? Okay, naintindihan ko na ikaw ay masama ang loob. No? Lower your voice and tone. Merong technique na tinuro sa akin ang nanay ko na nakakatuwa, no? Kapag ka merong nagagalit, she tries to, maintain her calmness at sinasabi niya, kung nagagalit ka na. Ang hirap magalit kapag kayo kausap mo kalmado, no? Oo, yan. Use neutral language, no? Focusing on the facts and not on judgment. And last but most importantly, magtanong, no? Be curious. So, examples would be, can you help me understand what matters most to you in that moment? Ano ba ang importante? Ano ba ang goal mo dito sa pag-uusap na ito? No? So that the emotion, the brain shift from how I feel to what I think. Diba? Magkaiba yun. So that's how you de-escalate. So what are the key insights here? You don't have to fix conflict right away, but you do not need to keep it from going off a cliff, di ba? So mastering de-escalation is like learning to slow the car down, no, before taking your turn. It's not the solution, but it makes every solution easier to reach. Yan, tandaan po natin yung insight na yan. So, empathy. Pasensya na po kayo, medyo bumibilis. Meron po akong training na to that is actually a whole day on conflict management. So what I'm trying to provide you are excerpts, no, or portions of the conflict management training. Kung gusto niyo po ito sa inyong kumpanya, just reach out to me. This is a very important skill for everyone, not just for managers but also to staff. Yan, workshop po ito, maraming role-playing conversation ito. So, empathy and listening. Pag-usapan natin yan. So, meron tayong degree, no? Apathy is the worst kind, no? I don't care if you are suffering. Wala akong pake, di ba? Sympathy is awa. I feel sad to know that you're suffering. So, yung isa, wala akong pakialam na nagsasuffer ka. Yung isa naman, naaawa, no? Sympathy. Yung empathy is I'm here and I understand your suffering. Yung compassion is extreme empathy. Yung compassion is the highest form of empathy. Na isipin nyo in a conflict situation, if you have compassion, your intention is to end the other person's suffering. Di ba? Ganda, di ba? Or mutually, to end our suffering. Minsan kasi hindi ang intention not to end suffering. Let me explain this a little bit. Matagal po akong HR manager at marami pong mga empleyado na nagpunta sa akin dahil may conflict sila sa kapwa empleyado. Wala akong matandaan na eksena na may pumunta sa aking empleyado para tulungan siyang makipag-ayos sa kapwa empleyado. Madalas, when people go to me as HR manager because they have conflict, is gusto nilang parusahan ko yung isang empleyado. Di ba? Dahil inapi sila, unfair sa kanila, no? Hindi ko matandaan kung merong bang isang pagkakataon where nagsabi sa akin yung empleyado, tulungan mo naman akong ayusin yung problema with this other person. Madalas irereklamo ko po yung kasama ko sa trabaho kasi sa mga ugali niya at pagtrato niya sa akin. And then when you put them together, away, no? And your job is to actually referee. So let's talk a little bit about that with the time remaining. Okay. So what gets in the way of conflict resolution? Rehearsing our reply. Diba? Kaya ang lagi ko sinasabi in a conflict situation, go in there confused rather than convinced. Yan. So yan. Sige, feel free po to use the Thomas Kilmann matrix. Hindi po akin yan. Doon po sa authors, no? Judging or disagreeing. Judging the person, no? Filtering everything through your own experience. Ito, madalas to, yung lived experience. Hindi totoo yung sinasabi mo dahil ang experience ko ay ganito. As if lahat ng totoo ay sa'yo nangyari at lahat ng hindi nangyari sa'yo ay hindi totoo. Di ba? Trying to solve the problem too quickly. Merong mga problemang matagal i-solve, no? And then getting triggered by tone or choice of words. Ito, importanteng i-emphasize ito kasi, di ba, iba-iba naman yung communication style natin. Sabi nga sa akin nung isa kong kaibigan, alam mo, pag nagle-lecture ka, para ka magpapagalit ng tao. Pero communication style ko lang yun. Hindi naman ako gano'n, di ba? So, kung maiinis ka dahil lang sa tono, sorry, Cairo, na-discuss ko na yung Thomas Kilmann kanina. Na-discuss ko na yung Thomas Kilmann kaninang nagsisimula. So, abangan nyo po yung recording nito at balikan nyo na lang po. Okay. So, let's look at the different types of listening. Mas magandang slide dito. Yan na lang. Okay. So, may passive listening, hearing the words but not processing the meaning. Yan. Yung evaluative listening is judging or filtering based on agreement. Okay? And then, ang gusto nating mangyari dito, yung tinatawag nating empathic listening. Trying to truly understand the thoughts and emotion of the other person. Because what we want to do is to build connection, build trust, and build clarity. Yun yung goal natin, di ba? So yan. So, how do you listen? Listen to gain information. No? So, asking clarifying question. Tama ba yung intindi ko? Ito ba ang ibig mo sabihin? Listening to affirm concerns, validating emotions or concerns. So, is this what you're upset about? Ito ba yung ikinasasamaan ng loob mo? Listening under pressure, staying present even when you feel defensive. Paano mo ba pipigilin yung defensiveness mo so that you can maintain objectivity, no? Or objectiveness? Reflecting, paraphrasing, or summarizing what you heard. Ayan. Yung kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, tama ba yung intindi ko? Ito bang ibig mong sabihin? Because sometimes we don't understand. Nangyayari yun, di ba? And asking open questions, exploring the other person's needs, not just surface content, di ba? Minsan, masyado tayo nakapokus doon sa ano bang nakakasakit doon sa sinasabi niya rather than ano bang kailangan nitong tao na to? How can I help this person? I think it's very important to keep that in mind. So, follow guidance, okay? Kung frustrated ka, okay lang to express your frustration. You can even say that, no? Napuprostrate ako, but you don't shout, di ba? Use emotion. This is how someone might express real pain or exhaustion, no? And then feel free to improvise slightly, but stay within the emotional boundaries of this scenario. In short, wag sumigaw, wag magtantrum, don't use tones that may make you appear like you're more powerful than the other person. Di ba? Even in problem-solving conversation, dapat hindi lumalaki yung boses mo. You have to maintain the conversational tone of the when you're having this issue resolution conversation. Pasan po natin ito exercise ito. So, what is empathy? Empathy is not passive, it's an active effort to understand another person's perspective when people feel truly heard. No? Even if their issue isn't resolved, they are more likely to stay open, calm down, and collaborate. Di ba? Kasi nakikita mo, iniintindi ka, pinakikinggan ka. Okay? So, you know that there's progress pagka ganun. Kesa doon sa parang defensive yung kausap mo. Meron akong naalala na bakit daw ang mga tao kapagka nag-aaway ay sumisigaw? No, meron nakalimutan ko lang yung source nun. Sabi kasi daw lumalayo ang puso natin sa isa't isa pagka may away. Sometimes we feel like we have to shout in order to feel heard. Ang lalim, no? So, yun yung iiwasan natin kasi the more we shout, the less empathy we're able to demonstrate, the less empathy we're going to receive because we get mutually defensive. Di ba? So, ayan. Empathy in conflict conversation, recognizing and replacing blockers. No? Ayan. Meron tayong example ng blockers dito. Well, that's just how it is. Okay, anong common intent? Normalize or minimize stress. No? Ano yung intended effect? Makes the person feel unseen or unheard. Yan. So, kailangan natin ma-recognize yung no? Yung impact ng mga sinasabi natin. Kailangan paiwasan natin yan. Okay? Pampasan natin to Punta tayo dito kasi medyo kukulangin tayo ng oras. I apologize for this. Punta tayo sa assertive communication. Ayan. So here you learn how to recognize different communication styles, distinguish assertiveness from aggression, and passivity. Ayan. Identify passive-aggressive behavior and practice using I statements. Okay? So, meron tayong apat na typical communication style. Passive, no? Yan, avoids expressing needs to avoid conflict. So, avoiders to madalas. You have aggressive, okay, mga taong ginagamit yung kanilang boses, yung kanilang posture para manalo sa argument. Merong passive-aggressive, marami sa ating Pilipino ang passive-aggressive. Yung yes sa harap mo, pagtalikod mo, bahala ka sa buhay mo, that's passive-aggressive. And then there's assertive, which is an adult-to-adult, mature conversation using I statements. Okay? So, let's look at some examples here. So, you want to speak up in a meeting. Ang passive, kaya mo na, iba na lang magsalita. Ang aggressive, makinig kayo sa akin. Kailangan maintindihan nyo yung sasabihin ko. Passive-aggressive, bahala kayo dyan. No? Wala namang kwenta yung sa inyo yung sasabihin ko. That's passive-aggressive. And assertive is, I'd like to share a thought that might help the discussion. Meron akong naiisip, baka makatulong. Yan yung assertive communication. So we have two more examples here that you can look at. No, you're asked to take on more work. Okay, kahit na lunod ka na sa trabaho, sure ka pa rin, di ba? Passive. Pag aggressive, no way, not my problem. Bahala ka dyan, di ba? Pagka passive-aggressive, ayan, sige, dagdag mo lang sa santamba ko ng trabaho. Wala naman talagang gustong tumulong sa akin. Passive-aggressive yan. Ang assertive should be able to say no properly, no? Sabi niya, I'd like to help, gusto kong tumulong, kaya lang masyado ng loaded yung aking trabaho. So I cannot do it right now. So, respectfully, you're able to decline. We should be able to do that. Okay? So yan po yung pagkakaiba ng passive-aggressive, at saka assertive. Sa natin yan. So, I want to talk about I statements. Okay? Tayong mga Pinoy ay hindi sanay sa I statements. Ano tayo you statement, ikaw, no? So, I statements are very powerful because they are your way of taking ownership and accountability for everything that you say, no? So, kaya siya tinawag na I statement, nagsisimula siya sa I, ako. Pero kaya ito awkward sa ating mga Pilipino, bihira sa mga Pilipino ang nagsisimula sa ako. Ako, ayaw ko yan. Di ba? Hindi. Ano tayo ano ba? Adjective or verb muna bago yung ako. So, yung I feel discouraged, ang Tagalog doon ay nadi-discourage ako or nawawalan ako ng gana. Di ba? So, okay naman yun. Okay yun. So, I feel discouraged. Nawawalan ako ng gana. Okay? When I get last-minute changes, kapag huli ko nang nalalaman yung mga pagbabago because it affects my ability to deliver quality work dahil naapektuhan yung quality ng aking trabaho. So, another I statement is when you assert what you need. No, I'll appreciate it kung bibigyan mo ako ng more lead time moving forward. Or mas malaking tulong para sa akin kung bibigyan mo ako ng lead time sa susunod, no? So yan po yung tinatawag natin na I statement. Gawin po natin kasanayan natin na we take ownership yun doon sa nararamdaman natin at sa gusto nating mangyari. Okay? Okay pa po kayo? May ilang slide pa lang na lang po ako natitira. And then siguro we'll extend for a few more minutes to try and answer question. No? So nakikita nyo po yung pagkakaiba ng passive-aggressive at saka ng assertive. Ayan. Konti na lang po. 2-3 slides na lang. Clarifying your intention and starting with a purpose. So, if you are going into a conflict conversation, you need to be clear about what your intention is. Ano ba ang intention mo? So, patunayan na tama ka, bang intention mo? Alamin kung sinong may kasalanan, okay? Ilabas ang iyong sama ng loob, mag-sorry sila sa'yo, manalo sa argumento, or ilagay sa tamang kalalagyan ang mga tao, di ba? Lalo na yung mga pakiramdam mo ay disrespectful. Okay? What could be a constructive alternative to that? Di ba? Instead of saying, I want to prove I'm right, understand both perspectives. Gusto kong maintindihan yung pananaw mo, at how that compares with my own perspective. Diba? Instead of blaming, clarify what went wrong and how to fix it. Wala pong nasosolve na problema ang blaming. Problem solving solves problem, not blaming. Instead of venting frustration, express concern constructively. Di ba? So, huwag ka lang maghinga ng sama ng loob. Ipakita mo yung ano yung issue. Di ba? Instead of looking for somebody to apologize to you, try to align expectation and responsibilities. The past is past. Di ba? Sabi nga nung isang Korean novela dati, sabi kung lahat ng pagkakamali ay nakukuha sa sorry, hindi na natin kailangan ng police. Di ba? Ewan ko kung may makaka-relate ba dun sa Korean novela na nasabi ko. No? But basically, ang sinasabi lang naman, the past is the past. How do we move forward? No? How do we solve this problem para hindi na to mangyari sa hinaharap? Okay? Instead of winning the argument, mas maganda magkaroon ng agreement and move forward. No? Hindi naman kailangan laging ikaw ang tama. It doesn't matter. Ang importante, ano bang outcome ang gusto natin? Diba? Instead of putting other people in their place, how about preserving relationship and resolving issues? So, pwede, di ba? So, yan. So, start with that. Whenever there's a conflict that you have to deal with, start with that. What is your intention? So, the technique that I want to really expound on before we end this presentation is this. Ang Grow model is a coaching tool that was developed by Sir John Whitmore and a few friends. No, this is one of the most widely used coaching models. No, pero what I've learned over the years of using this technique is that this is a very good tool to use in conflict resolution. Okay? Tingnan niyo po kung ang pag-uusap nagsisimula sa goal rather than anong problema, it puts the right mindset into the brain of the people having conversation. I'll give you an example, no? Halimbawa, meron kang kasama sa trabaho na hindi sinabmit sa iyo yung report sa deadline, no? In short, delayed yung submission ng report. So, instead of saying, Ed, mag-usap nga tayo, kasi late na naman yung report na natanggap ko sa iyo. Napagalitan na naman ako kasi hindi ko na-submit yung report ko dahil late yung report ko. Diba? So that's you confronting the other person. Confrontational. Okay? What if we start with this? You say, Ed, pag-usapan naman natin kung paano natin ma-maintain yung timeliness ng submission ng report. Diba? Goal What do we hope to achieve by talking about this? So instead of saying, pag-usap tayo kasi may kasalanan ka sa akin, magsisimula yung usapan sa, pag-usapan naman natin kung paano natin ma-achieve ang particular goal o paano natin ma-resolve itong problema na ito. And then you move to reality. Reality explores what happened from both sides. No? What's the situation from your perspective? Ano bang nangyari? Okay? Okay, ano bang epekto sa akin nung nangyari? Anong epekto sa iyo? So trying to understand the whole situation without blaming, no? By trying to control your urge to blame. Ano yung nangyari? Try to understand the situation. Once you understand the situation, you are now ready to solve it. No? Go to the options. So what could we do differently next time so that we can solve this problem? Yun na. Problem solving na. Dire-diretso na yun. And the very important end is the way forward, where we talk about specific things that we can do. What are we going to do? When are we going to do them? Who's going to be responsible for what? And then, when do we follow up? Kailan tayo mag-uusap uli? Hopefully, to celebrate the goal, the achievement of the goal, and maybe make some improvement if we see there are some kinks in the plan. No? Kailangan ayusin. Okay? So nakikita nyo po na yung Grow model ay pwedeng gamitin hindi lamang sa coaching but also in problem solving and more importantly in conflict resolution. So marami pong literature kayong mababasa about the Grow model. And I hope na nakikita natin na if you are going into a conflict conversation, the collaborative approach where you start with the goal is the best approach to use. Okay? So, doon po sa mga magsusubscribe na makakakuha ng kopya ng presentation, I'll give you this slide so that you can, maybe you can use it in your own company, in your own team. Talk to your team members, share this with them, pwede po yan. Okay? Wala na po tayong time. Ang gagawin ko po ay, anyway, nandito na rin lang tayo. Tuloy na natin. There's 147 of you. Tuloy na po natin. Oo. Pag-usapan natin yung conflict norms. Okay. Madalas, kaya maraming conflict. Ayan. So, naglalag daw po ba ako? Pakicheck din po sa iba. Now, norms are important. Okay? Maraming pagtatalong nangyayari sa kumpanya or sa team because people don't know how to solve issues. Okay? So, anong importance ng norms? Reduce fear of speaking up. Prevent unhealthy patterns like blaming or avoidance. Create psychological safety for honesty and growth. Importante ito po, psychological safety. Marami pong pag-aaral sa value ng psychological safety. Build a culture where conflict becomes a tool and not a threat. Kung ako po tatanungin, how do I know that a team is healthy? A team is healthy kapag kayong mga tao sa team can argue passionately about issues, solve problems, and then still be able to eat lunch together. Yung kahit nagdidebate kayo, katapos nun nagmimerienda kayo, masaya kayo, wala kayong sama ng loob sa isa't isa. Kasi the relationship is not on the table. Wala dun sa lamesa yung relationship ninyo. Pagka pinag-uusapan issue, usapan lang ng issue. Di ba? Ayan. So ano-ano yung mga conflict norms, no? Conflict norms are shared expectation for how people will raise concerns, respond to disagreements, handle emotionally charged situation, pag may away, may sama ng loob, how do we repair damaged trust, and how do we collaborate even when we don't agree with what each other is saying. Ayan, okay? So, sa company ko po, itong nakikita nyo ito ay picture na kinuha ko doon sa wall na kung saan doon sa aming opisina dito sa labas nitong aking opisina ay nakapaskil yan. Yan po yung conflict norms namin or team norms namin dito sa company ko sa Execuserve, no? So, ano lang siya? 6. Us to understand kung ang expectation namin sa isa't isa, pag hindi mo naintindihan, magtanong ka. Ito, importante ito, keep the feedback loop active. Hindi titigil ang usapan natin hanggat hindi tayo nagkakaintindihan. We will argue, we will debate, we will exchange ideas, and we will only stop if we have shared understanding. Ayan. Itong isa ay contribution ng aming accountant. Don't assume unless otherwise stated. Di ba? Be accountable. Own your own mistakes and strive to improve. Pagka may mali ka, mag-sorry ka and learn. Okay? Be involved. Bawal ang tawag namin doon ay bench warmer. Nasa meeting ka pero hindi ka nagsasalita. Kailangan mag-participate ka and share your perspective. And then finally, ito, sobrang importante nito. Don't look for reasons to be offended. Di ba? Sa team, hindi pare-pareho eh. Meron kaming kasama sa team na kalmado prim and proper, no? Pinalaking religyoso ng kanyang magulang, very prim and proper. Meron akong kasama sa trabaho, parang si Robin Padilla ko magsalita. No, parang ang utol kong hoodlum ko magsalita, di ba? Ako ay malakas mang-Alaska. Malakas ako mang-asar. No? So, what we try to do is we try to recognize na none of us, wala sa amin, sa mga kasama namin, ay may masamang intensyon sa isa't isa. So we don't get offended. Kahit mag-alaskahan kami maghapon, nobody gets offended. No? So yan po yung norms. Kung kayo ay leader, Paano kayo magkakaroon nito? Umupo po kayo kasama yung team ninyo. And then, kausapin nyo sila. Ano sa tingin nyo ang dapat nating pagkasunduan para nang sa ganon maging malinaw ang communication natin sa isa't isa? No? Sabi ni Clara, Sir, as TL, nahirapan ako mag-communicate sa staff ko. I feel disrespected minsan. Best time, Clara, to sit down with your team and talk about your expectation and their expectation and agree on how you're going to work well together. No? Baka kasi meron ka rin ginagawa where they feel disrespected. Ganito po kasi yan. Pag ginagawa ko itong training na to, meron kaming game. No, yung nakaganyan yung kamay mo, tapos yung kamay ng kasama mo nakaganyan. Contest siya, hand slapping contest, no? At doon sa game na yon, na papansin ng mga participants na pagka napalakas yung hampas, halimbawa nahampas yung kamay mo, tinamaan yung kamay. Kasi you're supposed to, iiwas ka. Pag tinamaan, yung susunod na hampas mas malakas. Okay? So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Yung reaction ng mga tao sa ating communication. Yung behavior ng mga tao sa ating communication, how they communicate, might be, I'm not saying could be, I'm not saying ito talaga yung dahilan, but it might be because of the way you communicate with them. Pag ayaw nilang mag-share, ibig sabihin mababa ang trust. So, Clara, the question now is how do you strengthen the trust in your team so that they will be able to communicate? Sa akin, sukatan ko yun eh. Sinasabi ko yun sa mga tao ko. The best way to show me you trust me is that you're able to disagree with me and tell me to my face na hindi kayo sang-ayon sa sinasabi ko. Kasi if we're able to engage in that kind of argument and debate, that means we trust each other. Minsan kasi baliktad yung natin yung pananaw natin sa trust. Pag hindi ka kine-question, yun yung trust. Pag kino-question ka, walang trust. Sa akin, baliktad. Question me, challenge me. Kasi kung ako yung boss, tapos walang challenge sa akin, tapos mali yung decision ko, that decision will be very expensive. Tapos nagtatawanan yung mga tao sa likod mo, sabi ko na nga bang mali yung decision niya. Di ba? So, yun. So, Clara, thank you for those inputs. No? Pero I hope na nakikita mo na I'm not gonna solve, hindi ko masosolve yung problem mo if you're trying to rationalize yung side mo. Kailangan yung mag-usap. No? Usapin. As a leader, you have to learn how to do this. No? Pag-aralan mo. There's a lot of ways. No? Kailangan muna natin simulan is paano natin kakausapin muna yung sarili natin. No? Bago tayo makipag-usap sa iba. Okay? So yan. Alright. Ito po yung aking last slide. The aim of argument or of discussion should not be victory but progress. Okay? If sometimes we feel offended, we need to recognize na most of the time, the decision to be offended is ours and not the other person. Nobody can offend you, only you can offend yourself. So be mindful of how you take other people's communication. Kung pinapasahan nila kayo ng negative energy, do not accept it. So that you can stay positive, optimistic, and constructive, and productive. Okay. So, 10 minutes. 10 minutes po. We'll end at 10:30. I'll try to answer a few questions. If you have questions for me, ay sasagutin ko. Kasi po naipangako ko na sasagot ako ng mga tanong. So, I'll get this out of the way. Kung meron po kayong mga katanungan, ayan. Ganito po. Kasi yung presentation at saka itong video na to ay i-upload ko po sa aking Facebook page as part of my subscription program. In my subscription program, you pay 99 pesos per month. You get regular supplies of materials like this. No? Kung nagustuhan niyo po yung materials, I hopefully you will feel na yung 99 pesos is worth the money, no? At kagaya nung sabi ko kanina, Pati tools and templates ay bibigay ko po sa inyo if you are a subscriber. How do you change a culture in order to bridge the gap between management direction versus nakasanayan? Okay. Yung culture building or transformation at team level, yung maliit na team lang, mabilis yun magawa. Pero pag ang pinag-uusapan natin ay yung buong organization, kailangan magsimula sa leader ng organization. So pagka sinabi mo, paano yan? Hindi naman ako yung leader ng organization. You need to learn how to lead from the middle. Ako, mukhang magandang topic yan sa hinaharap, ano? How to lead from the middle. If you are a middle manager, how do you effectively lead your boss so that they will take ownership, no, of the transformation needed in the organization. Ano po? So we'll try and do that in the future. Ayan. Sa team mo kasi madali lang eh. Kung team lang, setting and leveling of expectation lang. Sit down with your team, pag-usapan nyo. You can even go as obvious as anong klaseng culture ba ang gusto ninyong ipatupad natin dito sa ating team. It's that simple. It's simple. It's not simple and easy are two different things, no? Simple and easy. It's simple, it's not easy, but it's simple. Kailangan nyo lang pagsang-ayunan kung ano yung culture. Sa organizational level, yung core values ng company, ang isa sa pinaka malaking impluensya sa culture ng company. Now, if the leaders of the organization don't care about the company's core values, then it's going to be very hard. So, yun yung challenge. Meron pa po ba tayong mga katanungan? I still have 7 minutes left. I think I can answer 2 more questions. Ayan. Hi, Sir Ed. Transitioning to a leader, how to delegate tasks without sounding too bossy. Ano po, yung delegation, when you delegate 3 things. You delegate responsibility, authority, and accountability. Okay? Yun yung delegating. Kung hindi yun ang sinasabi mo, baka ang sinasabi mo lang ay ordering or nag-uutos. So, kung ang sinasabi mo ay gusto kong mag-utos na hindi mukha akong palautos. Okay. Sabi nga ni Barney, please and thank you. Say please and thank you. Diba? Pakiusap. Pwede ba? Pakiusap. Diba? The right tone. And then, thank you sa dulo. Appreciate. Oo. Powerful yung yung appreciating, no? I find appreciating to be more powerful than recognizing. Recognizing is good job, no? Good job. Galing yung pinagawa ko sa iyo, nagawa mo na maayos. Good job. That's recognizing. Appreciating is thank you so much for helping me. Thank you for doing this. It really helped me. So, na delegation is yung say please. Then, thank you. Yan yung natutunan ko kay Barney. Di ba? Say please and thank you. Ngayon, kung gusto mong yung totoong delegate, if you want to delegate and empower people, you need to develop their capability to deliver on responsibility. You have to make sure that accountability is clear, malinaw sa kanila kung ano ang iyong expectation. At hindi mo pinapayagan na yung mga tao ay hindi magdi-deliver sa kanilang commitment. You have to make them accountable for that. And you also have to enable them to make decisions on their own. Diba? Yun yung totoong delegation. That's true delegation. Yung kung hindi yon, utos lang yun. Nalala ko tuloy yung nagkakandak ako ng training on delegation. Merong isang participant. Hindi participant. Assistant. No, sabi niya, Sir, a-attend yung boss ko sa training on delegation. Pwede bang huwag masyadong kusayan sa pagtuturo? Sabi ko, ang mag-delegate doon, utos ng utos yun. Palautos yun. Diba? Yeah. Saka pag inisip mo yung idea ng palautos, si ano yan eh, gawin mo to, gawin mo yan. Yan, gawin mo yan. Timpla mo akong kape, bili mo ako ng ganito. That's utos. Diba? Iba yung utos sa pakiusap. Ang aking recommendation is to use pakiusap rather than utos. I hope nasagot ko yun. Meron pa po ba? Okay, meron pa tayong 4 na minuto bago magsara ng tindahan. How to handle or convince those employees na not meeting targets. Okay. Bago po tayo Viva, bago po tayo mangkumbinse ng mga employee na hindi nakakamit ng target, ang first step is really to try to understand why they're not meeting their targets. May kakulangan ba sa kakayanan? May kakulangan ba sa equipment and tools? May kakulangan ba sa sistema? No? May kakulangan ba sa suporta? Very few people don't want not to meet their target. Wala namang gustong bumagsak eh. Oo. Madalas yun yung dahilan. Kulang sa kakayahan, training. Kulang sa equipment, provide the right equipment. Kulang sa may pagkukulang sa sistema, fix the system, fix the process. Kulang sa suporta, provide the necessary support. Sometimes, the kind of support needed is coaching. So learn how to be an effective coach. Provide them the necessary support. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So kapag ka pumapalya po yung mga tauhan natin, we need to ask ourselves, what can we do to help them succeed? Because if we fail in our leadership, failure on their side is almost guaranteed. So if we want them to succeed, kailangan maging conscious tayo about all our own need to develop ourselves as leaders. Okay? Mukhang yun na po ang aking closing remarks for tonight. Napahaba po tayo ng konti na hindi ko na-anticipate yung haba ng topic. Pasensya na po kayo doon sa medyo na madali nating mga parts. And we'll try to do this again. So later, minutes of the meeting. Okay, that's funny. Salamat po ng marami sa lahat at next week, ganito po ulit tayo. No? Meron na naman akong bagong topic, i-announce ko po soon kung ano yung susunod natin na topic. At sana po ay may natutunan kayo tonight. Balik po kayo uli sa Lunes, 9 o'clock uli ng gabi hanggang 10. Maraming salamat po sa mga nagbigay ng gifts. Oo, naka 10 cents ako today. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Have a great evening and good night everyone. See you soon. Okay, that ends our session tonight. Bye-bye.